We live?
Yes.
Going to YouTube, we're not live. Alright, now we're live.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 360 the Riffles Podcast. My name is Tyler. Drop me tape. Cringe a lot.
Future news, big news. It's all happening. On the One Piece front. Heaps of shit.
We can't
Heaps
stop.
of things to
We
talk
can't.
about.
We can't stop winning.
Yeah.
Think about the Naruto fans. Think
Think
about
about the Dragon Ball fans.
Think about the first episode of Dime is good because they just reanimate all the hype scenes in Dragon Ball Z, which you love to see.
Yeah, alright. Well, I don't even understand what Daima is. Is it a prequel? Is it a sequel? Is it canon? Is it not canon? No one knows.
I believe. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna say.
It's the time between Z and Super. Is that correct? I don't understand.
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Alright.
But regardless, Dan Dan keeps going. Christian, the hype new anime.
Episode 2?
Catch me on episode 11.
In, it's what, 9 weeks?
On episode 3, Christian. This week.
Episode 3. Okay.
One Piece anime on break.
But the Ishitani masterpiece, Eric. Now, Eric, before you go on your rant about the fan letter, about whatever, I just wanted to say my perspective was I understand the outrage from the One Piece fans. They want hype, they want quality, alright? Now, the announcement made it seem, well, we're gonna get some butter bullshit, little slice of life horse shit that no one would care about. But no, what did they do, Eric? They had a little bit of Marineford sauce, so everyone's happy. See, you're gonna go on a rant about artistic value and storytelling and all that shit, but let's keep it in perspective. They put Marineford in it, they put Luffy in it, they put the Straw Hats in it. So they gave us the hype we wanted, and they told a great story. So you have to do both, Eric. You can't just take the IP and do nothing. Right? They did something, it was great. Fantastic animation, art direction, everything you want, pacing. A little cracked in the pacing, alright? It's got that cocaine pace. But I appreciate it. Great episode. Is it the best episode of the One Piece anime? No. Alright, let's relax. The first Ishitani masterpiece is still better. Why? More impact. Alright?
Have you finished?
You can go on your rant now.
I don't know, yeah, I get that, yeah, what it did was it just gave us a different perspective on the world. And made us understand.
I would love to see a spin-off manga of just events through photo eyes. What was? It's like you're living a normal life, and then just fucking crazy shit happens, and you can't do anything. And you just doing nothing.
I guess you could say, oh, they have Marineford in there, so it's hype, right? But you could have something similar on Tequila Wolf, for example, or
but then Eric, you need something that fans remember,
right? Or
you need Truma showing up and doing something.
Yeah, or on a random Impel Down prisoner who was wrongfully accused on the day Luffy made his escape.
I could tell you right now,
but
if the episode was about the little girl slice of life running around Sabrodi doing nothing, people would be upset.
But it would still be peak.
It would still be great storytelling, great animation. But would the fans care? No. They only care because it has Marineford shit. And Greg, the man who writes for the One Piece magazine, he assisted with the fan letters, writing-wise. So to me, this comes across, especially about the power scaling debate in the fan letter, it comes across as very in touch with the One Piece community, people bring up irrelevant characters like Alkainu.
Hilarious. Good bit.
You know, people bringing up that the swordsman, that the title is fake,
Right.
that it means nothing. People memeing the Mihawk guy, be like, yeah, sure, you saw him in action. Shut up, man. You know, what about Eric? What about Flower Sword Vista?
That's right.
Eric, this is just a 100% Twitter conversation.
You love to see it.
What about Whitebeard? Oh, Whitebeard doesn't use a sword, but it's a bladed weapon. Oh, it's just Twitter, alright? And then, of course, the Sanji... Eric, and then the Sanji fans get involved. They say, oh, Mosshead, what about Blackleg? No one gives a fuck. Everyone laughs, alright? So it's classic...
I think, yeah,
it's very much for the fans.
You have like for something like this, obviously you have to have the Straw Hats involved in some way, right? But like, the interesting thing about it is perspective. It's not that like Marineford was reanimated.
But Eric also Marineford was reanimated.
I mean, it's sorta, not really.
You got Crocodile Mihawk with aura.
Like how good would a 2-hour film be about these two? You start off with as the kids, and they get drafted.
Eric, will Ishitani get the movie?
Maybe.
Give Ichitani the movie.
How would you feel about a 2-hour film with these two idiots?
Eric, I would appreciate it, but it would just evolve into a Marineford. You know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna use it to retell Marineford.
Well, yeah, that'd be a major part of the arc, and then they get home and shit. But
yeah. So we appreciate the family.
It was peak, Christian. It was peak.
It was peak.
Christian, if Ishitani and Mori's name are attached, you come.
You come and see. All right. Now, will this give her the green light for the movie?
She can do it. If she asks for something, she'll get it. All right.
Eric, did you think that this was the test bed for the movie? Let's give her something small to direct. Let's see if she can do it.
The movie would already be in production by this point. So
depends on what they do with Dragon Ball. They might have
it'll be in production already. So they'd have the director set in stone. So maybe the next one after this.
Alright, so we want to see the Ichitani movie.
So like, who knows? Christian, this is doing very, very, very well, even outside of One Piece communities. This thing.
Did you come in on Monday and the animation studio was talking about it?
Of course, Christian. Every time Ishitani turns up, I gotta throw them. I'm like, don't worry about the context, just watch it. Because like, Christian, you know what I appreciate? That's gone out of style.
What's that?
The jump cut.
Just flash jump cut.
The jump cut no one uses anymore, and it's a powerful tool.
It's gone out of favor because there's a lot of reasons. Shit like disorientation. Lots of reasons it's gone out of favor. People think you gotta tell a cohesive story.
Excellence is a metaphorical piece, Christian. Just bang, straight away. Now, I was planning to use a jump cut shortly without this,
but also it's Marineford, so the audience knows what it is. They don't have to explain it. Shot Marineford, we know what it is.
No, but like the jump cut of him as a kid, and it shows he's in the same position, right? It's a jump cut, but it's different times if you're being called clumsy. You get the point, right? Powerful use of jump cut, or say in Onigashima with Kinemon on the floor. And then the jump cuts to them being defeated. Powerful use of jump cut, Christian.
Sure.
Very powerful tool no one uses anymore.
Every tool in the toolbox is very powerful. It's just about when to use it, when to deploy the technique. Right? Eric, do you want to talk about the Twitter reaction when it was first announced, and now the Twitter reaction that it's out?
Clowns. Breezy Bird apologizes, Christian, for his cartoonish behavior. He has a little comment there. I can't see it because my mic's obscuring.
It's about baseball, Eric. It's about the Fishman Island remake getting delayed a week because of baseball.
The Nippon, Christian, of course.
No, the American baseball, because a lot of Japanese players are in it. They're broadcasting it on TV.
There you go. Again, Nippon love baseball. Christian, the greatest player maybe of all time is Japanese now.
Okay.
So there
All
you
right.
go. Yeah, listen, the fan outrage was cartoonish,
It was clown. It was a clown show.
ignorant. They got no idea how the industry works. Uh, quote unquote waste of resources.
Yeah.
Stupidity, Christian.
Yeah.
And like, I get an episode's hype and shit, but it's a 1 week. It's a 1 week hitter. This is an evergreen title. All fans can come back to and watch again.
Yeah.
All right.
Easily digestible. It's eye candy. It's emotional. It's fast paced.
And the art choice is chosen, Christian, for its expression, but also for its cheapness.
Sure.
That it's a lot easier to animate these characters like this in this style than it is normal One Piece Oda
Yeah.
details. So, it's all in perspective, and they do a good job always. And I don't know, like.
You remember the Garp episode where we said, the Garp Kuzan thing, it's sloppy, right? You got the background isn't tracked properly, it goes in and out of perspective, it's wonky, it's clunky because of the weekly constraint.
Right.
In this episode, they do that animated background all the time, and guess what? It works because it's planned and it's properly executed.
And it's simple.
That's what people were talking about in the Garp episode with the quote unquote over animation.
Right.
It's not over animated. It's sloppy in execution because of the time constraint. Therefore, the perspective warps. The characters don't quite match the background.
There's not enough time for it. There's not enough time for revisions.
Not enough time for it. But this special, you can do it properly, and you can see how well it works. So, Derek, other anime news. Did you see the preview for the reanimated Egghead?
Some of it's kind of hit and miss, but we'll watch it.
Derek, obviously they've chucked the Wano filters and line displacement shit on it.
Right.
Some things are gonna hit, some things are gonna miss. Just like the Wano anime style.
They picked and choose which shots to redo and which shots to leave alone.
I watched the preview. Everything's re-rendered with the you know how re-rendering works.
Yeah.
They plug in the new code and fix it up. They add their effects, and their gradients and shit. This project's been in the works for a long time, because they're using the Wano tech. They're not using the Egghead tech.
Also,
they're using the Wano tech.
Yeah, like the they showed on an example. They have like redrawn a few scenes and
sure.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I don't expect wholesale,
redesign. We're not getting crazy reanimation.
It's just gonna be abridged, really.
Yeah.
So
and cool new effects and some improved art.
Right. I can't wait for the people to say Fishman Island's goated.
I mean, Eric, you know what I feel? There is a lot of nostalgia for Return to Sabaody. There was a lot of nostalgia about that arc. Getting to see the new Straw Hats again, Luffy punching the Pacifista.
I mean, everyone loves that part. It's just when you get into Fishman Island and they reintroduce the Straw Hats 7 times and
Hody Jones. Yeah. So that's the anime news. Heaps of anime news, Eric. Also, funny, hilarious game news. There was a game in development. Bandai has cancelled it.
Right.
So we were correct. There was a One Piece game.
I wonder how Shueisha feels about the license now.
Did they cancel the game? They have to release something, otherwise they lose the license.
They cancelled the Naruto and the One Piece game, so I wonder how Shueisha's feeling about that license. Maybe it might slip.
Look, I expect a massive investment in a quality One Piece game now that the IP is skyrocketing to all new heights. We're getting anime remake.
One Piece Odyssey was horrific in terms of sales as well. So
they
maybe that's why they cancelled it.
It wasn't. They made terrible design choices. It wasn't about the graphics. It wasn't about. They made terrible design choices. So it wasn't really about the technical state or whatever.
Right. The game did sell poorly, so that's where we're at with that.
Yeah.
Just the last thing on the Ishitani episode.
Yeah.
This is what animation and the medium is for, Christian. Complex shots that can only be done with animation. How, Christian, tell me? How in a film are you going to have a giant throw a boulder with a camera fixated on that boulder? Very complex things to do. This is what the medium is for. It's also very powerful for metaphor.
Yeah.
So that's what makes Ichichani great. And Mori. They use the medium at its fullest capacity. It's not just a film.
It's not just shot like a film.
Right.
We're doing things with a drawn aspect. Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
But Eric, let's move into the chapter, The Accused Prince. The man with the aura, Eric. We're here to talk about the man with the aura.
Christian, chapter.
Eric, I feel like we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be here for a while. There's many topics to talk about. Financial details, which we always enjoy. But it brings up issues. AKA Roger's bounty. Many, Oda really probably didn't think this through for the implications. You know, Rox's bounty, where's the, you know, we'll get to that.
Let me bring this chapter up to get the specific wording for when we get there.
Inflation. Robert literally says inflation. But that could be many things. That doesn't necessarily have to mean the cash rate inflation.
We'll talk about the fiscal reality in a minute, Christian.
We'll talk about it when we get to the fiscal One Piece
we'll talk
world
about
economics.
Noshiro and his fiscal policy, because
we'll get to it. Alright, Eric. Cover page, Yamato lost the sword, so maybe now we can begin this theft plot. Alright?
Maybe she fights a Vista to get the sword back.
Crazy. Defeated the man Miho couldn't.
Right.
Alright. First thing we see, Frankie announcing that it's the end of the search. They're done searching for the Straw Hats.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be at our bath.
They trusted them. They trusted Luffy, Eric. Right. Jinbei even asked his Shark Network if they saw anything. Shout out to the Shark Network.
Never forget.
Could have used it in Egghead. Maybe. To transport the luggage for him. Maybe. Shout out to Jinbei's Shark Network.
Right.
Alright. The other Straw Hats, they'll just go and wait for them in Albath. They'll be fine, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
We cut over to Albath. Eric, are we now in Albath?
Yes.
Have we made it to Albath?
We have.
Are we on the Red Line? No. Are we in the Merijoa Castle? No. Are we in the training grounds of the Holy Knights? No. Alright? We're finally in Albath. The cope is over.
Right.
But Eric, we'll get to it, but we have a new cope. A horrendous cope.
A new cope. Alright. We'll see.
Alright? The new cope.
I'm aware of this new cope.
Of course you tweeted it.
Oh,
you are the direct cause of this new cope.
The ironic pain, Christian.
Alright? We'll get to it. We'll get to that part, Eric. Mm-hmm. The Straw Hats are outside. They're inside this ice area. It's a blizzard. We see a giant castle. Nami accused, dazed, confused by the vastness of this land, Eric. Dizzy from the sheer scale of it.
Right.
Eric, how big is this? Eric, we need Cole to come out and do the calculations of the size of this country.
How the fuck is he gonna do the calculations?
Size, Eric, just the size of.
I guess the Sunny will be docked at some point, and he'll compare it to a tree and then scale off that.
Yeah. This is colossal. Right?
It might be cartoonishly big, where it doesn't make sense to fit on a planet, but.
Or it'll be like the tree will go outside the atmosphere.
Right.
Or some insane shit.
It'll have like a 6,000 kilometer atmosphere, and Cole will lose his mind. Because you should be in space.
We'll go to the moon and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
And then we're going to upscale the planet to Neptune class. And then that discussion happens again. Mm-hmm. Because the new world will have to be a certain diameter to fit the island within the strip of the new world. Then we can calculate the size of the new world. Then we can calculate the size of the planet.
The answer is cartoonish. Is the answer? How big this island is.
It's true. It's huge. All right. The other Straw Hats are trying to make their way across the bridge, Eric. There's a blizzard going on. Good. It's coming in with Goldberg, Eric, the big boy, the cook of the new warrior pirates,
with the homie shield,
with the strange shield, Eric. Good, complaining about Roto. He's a weirdo. They don't like him. He's a freak. But anyway, he's a good navigator, so Hydrulian invited him. Alright? It seems like the castle on the cliff is a new warrior pirates hideout. They've like gone with this this maybe prison that they've made into their base. They're the youngsters. They seem well respected within the Albaf society. Alright. Eric, they're trying to make their way across the bridge. Usopp is freaking out. He's trying to hype himself up and be brave. Oda clearly understands what Usopp has to be by the end.
He's not fucking around.
No. Alright. Usopp freaking out. Luffy can feel a strange presence from the distance. It is very unclear if Zoro or Sanji can also sense it.
Right.
I'm gonna say no, they can't sense it because Zoro's like, what's going on? Nor Sanji can sense it.
But Luffy's sensing it from the Mirror World, Lego World.
Lego World, Eric. No, it's not a different dimension, so let's relax.
There are
on that.
mirrors involved.
Right? Okay, it's not a different dimension.
Right.
Alright? It's just a room. But Luffy can feel a tingling, a presence, Eric. He can feel a strange presence in the distance. Sanji stops Zoro from going to the forest, and the fans lose their collective mind. I hate Sanji.
Zoro in an Albaf forest, he's never coming back.
No. He's gone forever.
Right.
Alright? It's probably got some mystical elf shit going on, and he's gonna get lost in the fog. You can't trust him, alright? Luffy jumps off to go see what was roaring while they were back in the Block Kingdom, Eric. The roar is interesting. It might hint towards the Devil Fruit. Back to the other Straw Hats, and they've been blamed for Vegapunk's death. Dory and Brogy have gotten equal blame for the siege on Egghead. Robert explains that due to inflation, their 100 million bounties were too low. Now, pause. Inflation. There are two types of inflation. One, financial inflation. Two, market inflation, Eric. I think Robert is talking about market inflation. The value of pirates and capturing them has skyrocketed since the Great Pirate Era.
Right.
Since Roger's era.
Right.
So I think that's what she's talking about. I don't think she's actually talking about financial inflation. Because otherwise we get into all sorts of questions like Roger's bounty, you have to upscale it for inflation, therefore it's like 8 billion berry.
No, well,
and then
inflation isn't a set value, Christian, as we know.
Sure.
There could have been a massive jump before Roger.
So Eric, actually, Roger's bounty adjusted for inflation is 8 billion. Therefore, Luffy has to get a 9 billion berry bounty to outpace. You know, it starts to get crazy, right? So I think this has to do with market inflation.
Obviously inflation is in the zeitgeist at the moment, so Oda might have been making a meme.
Cute meme,
right?
But it may cause a lot of issues.
Now let's talk about fiscal policy, Christian. Noshijuro, the fiscal man. He might have been there for 800 years.
We don't know.
With the coin purse tightly squeezed, Christian, on these people.
Sure, yeah.
Now, does he believe in the inflation theory, Christian, that of course, with growth, you have to have inflation?
Sure.
In order to have infinite growth.
Sure.
Inflation is healthy. Is he keeping it at a solid 3%?
What is his interest rate policy?
Because he doesn't give a fuck. He'll take money from the people when he needs it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessary for him to print berries when he can just take money off the people because he is a dictator of
what if he needs a quick hit of cash, a little quick fiat to shore up a little hole in the supply chain? Let's say dragons attacked a vessel and he needs that cash. Does he just print it? We know there's gold and shit, but we also know there's fiat currency.
But who's keeping the world government accountable for their fiscal policies? Because there's no stock market.
Celestial dragons, Eric. They don't want their value of their property and resources to go down.
Do they trade? Do they trade?
They must trade.
On the market.
Surely. They buy slaves and shit. There's markets. They're always talking about prices. They complain about the price of slaves. Alright? So they care about prices. So they're keeping Noshijuro accountable for his interest rate.
The Celestial Dragons expect a certain stipend, Christian, as it were.
Sure.
whatever number you want, or because surely Noshijuro is not like you can't have infinite money whenever you want.
No.
No,
But maybe he's like, well, we're a little low on taxation this week or this month. We're gonna have to print a little extra fee on.
So let's say the Doflamingo family.
Yeah.
Are there Are there poor celestial dragons, Christian? No, obviously no one's poor in Marijoa. But are there lesser?
I'm sure,
are there the lower class of the celestial dragons?
I'm sure they hoard wealth. I'm sure it's not some sort of communist utopia where they all have infinite resources. Because they talk about the food.
Well, they're not complaining about paying for the food, Christian. Because surely, if they had to pay for the food and via the scarcity of said food, the price would go up. Right. So they're not complaining about the price.
But they do buy slaves. They don't just get them for free.
Right. And there is a rental system with Kuma.
Sure. So they do use money. They're not immune to the financial market.
Right.
They're not immune to the market.
But I'm just saying, right?
Buy things.
If there's a one world government,
yeah,
and a man controls all fiscal policy, and there's no stock market, and he could just
the will of the market cannot be controlled. There's one currency, but that could be said about our world. There's really one currency, the US dollar, and everything is marked off that. So you could say there's one currency.
The petro fiat, Christian.
You could say there's one currency in our world, which is the US dollar, which everything is based off, and the different currencies are valued off that.
But the US market prints money to fill holes in their spending budget.
Yeah, thus devaluing their currency.
But Noshijuro doesn't need to print money. He can just take it off the people because the people can't rebel.
Sure, but the amount of currency dictates the inflation. If you print one $100 bill, that value is $100. If you print 100 $100 bills, now you've created inflation. Now the actual value is maybe $98 because you've printed more money. So you put more money into the supply, therefore diluting the supply. So it's a natural occurring phenomenon.
Oda, where's the mint?
Be controlled.
Where's the mint?
Yeah.
Where's the money?
Yeah.
Does Noshijuro ship money out to the judicial, to various government organizations?
Sure.
Where the shit does Umet transport the berries?
We know Vegapunk has a budget, and he's always complaining about his budget. He wants more money.
Right. Now does Noshijuro give Garling the budget for his department, or does Garling be like, "Hey man, give me my money"?
Yeah, I need to fund this shit.
So really, Noshijuro is the leader of all of them because he funds all of them. He's the man with the finger on the purse strings, Christian. Sure. He gives X amount to.
How much is he giving to Eric? Tell me how much he's giving to agriculture. Fucking zero. Right?
But where
he's giving no money.
Yeah.
No money to Jupiter.
Where are the government agricultural facilities? I don't see them.
Where are they? Where's the farms on the red line? There's been no effort in the agricultural sector. It's got no money. He gives all the money to the war and science development. Right? He gives no money to Peter. The environment minister is doing nothing. Mars is doing jack shit.
Right? No money there.
There's no money in the environment minister. Right? In the environment portfolio. Nothing.
Does Vegapunk
Justice gets summoned.
Does Vegapunk bleed into that environmental budget because he's also got AC cooling?
Maybe they all put their money into science, Eric.
Right.
But of course, how much does Eric? The judicial system is getting heaps of cash because running Impel down can't be cheap.
The Navy.
They're running Impel down.
Do you think Noshijuro sweats Zoro more or the budget on the Navy more?
The budget. The Navy spending budget. Akainu wants that budget raised.
He's going,
where's the money coming from?
How is Noshijuro like, why am I paying for this death trap Impel down?
They love it.
You got a heater.
You got a freezer.
You got a freezer above a heater.
Yeah, below the heater. Frozen hell is below the
Right,
heater.
you got a heater next to a furnace. What are the AC costs on that? Actually,
It's a lot of resources. All right, we've been through this before, but we can talk about inflation and One
there's
Piece
no need
monetary.
to boil the people when they come in.
No, they need to cleanse them. Apparently,
Right.
they need to cleanse the dirtiness. All right,
Yeah.
so give them a little plunge.
Shout out
all right?
inflation. Christian saying, I'm thinking people forget they also got a bump because they're involved in the situation.
Of course.
So consider that.
But I don't want to hear Roger's actual bounty is 8 billion.
Well,
I don't want to hear that.
theoretically, there is inflation, so it has to be
Sure.
something.
Sure. Alright. So, we get to see Luffy in Gear 5 with an X on his mark, with an X on his arm, obviously done by Vivi for some sort of message.
Right.
To say she's alive, she's alright, she's okay.
And this is why Oda separated the Straw Hats and such.
Yep. Maybe it's a symbol that they'll meet soon.
Right.
Let's meet up. Maybe that's what the X is for. No?
As you remember, last post arc, they argued about going to save her, so...
Yeah. Eric, we get more information on the Giants. Dory is excited that Luffy is equal status to Shanks. He's an emperor, Eric.
Right.
People that use this for power scaling fodder. It's not. It's just saying.
I haven't seen anyone do that, so...
I've seen a few.
Okay.
Alright, but let's not do that. They reveal that Hydruden is indeed the son of the king, Eric.
Harold.
We don't have to call him Odin anymore. Oda said, let's have no confusion here with Odin and Odin. Alright?
Right.
Let's not do
King
that.
Harold is dead.
King Harold. King of the Vikings, Eric.
Right.
So, there you go. They reveal that Hydruden is the son, Eric. They would have... The new warrior pirates would have come to Egghead, but there is trouble in Albath, Eric. Loki killed King Harold to get a legendary devil fruit. Alright. Legendary devil fruit. We'll get to it in the talk of the show with the Loki speculation.
Okay.
But a legendary devil fruit, keep that in mind. This event happened a few years back, Eric. Somehow Loki got out of his chains, but it took all the giants to contain him and put him back in his chains. And that seems like it happened during the events of Wano or sometime after Wano.
Right.
So, it is said that the next time Loki is unleashed, he will destroy the world. We get to see Loki's design aura. He goes, let me throw this garbage silhouette out, let me draw some aura. Alright? Derek.
One of the rare occasions that the
Oda
silhouette
says, yeah,
is worse than the actual design.
He's got a little demon goatee, Eric. He's got that blonde hair,
Right.
presumably. It could be any color, but
Probably
let's
pink.
just say
Who knows?
who knows? Alright?
Right.
But we got Loki here, looking hype, looking strong. Eric, Oda sauced this man up. Legendary Devil Fruit.
Got that Mingo
all of
time.
Albath. He's getting hyped. Alright? Instantly, where do you put him?
Again, alright, this all depends on if he's Luffy's opponent or not.
Eric,
You
the
presume
hype the
he
shit
is.
out of him.
You presume he is.
The hype him.
So,
Alright,
top
let's
10,
just
I
say,
guess.
let's
Top
just
10.
say let's just say Yamato above or below.
above.
No doubt.
No doubt. If he's Luffy's opponent, he has to be top 10.
Yo, he's gonna be. I'm gonna say right now. I'm gonna say at least Admiral level because of the sensing of the strong heart.
I'm just gonna Breezy Bird above Gorosei doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Alright. So, Loki, Legendary Devil Fruit. Let's just go through the stats. Legendary Devil Fruit has a prophecy attached to him, and it took all of Alba's finest
And he's a
warriors to
giant.
take him down. And he's a giant.
Right.
I don't know how much stock you want to put in that. For some people, that's minor stock. Alright?
Sure. By the way, I love on Twitter everyone's pretending like the Giants are always strong.
Like last week, Cole was getting clowned.
Right.
Yeah.
As Breezy said, Kizaru's sweating. Sure.
No.
No one, the Goros say don't want to go to Elbaf. They don't want that heat.
The world government has wants nothing to do with Alabama. Look what the look at the warrior pirates did to that bus called nothing. It just fucking fucked it up.
Right.
Instantly destroyed. No effort.
Bozos.
Destroyed that bus called.
Mm-hmm.
They got clowned by the giants. All right. So a whole nation of giants. You don't want to attack that because you're just gonna get clowned. Now, look, I get it, of course, the animals, I get it, alright. But if we have strong characters like Loki, and you got some named characters that can go toe-to-toe, world government's finished with Elbaf. Alright?
Now.
Luffy says, Eric, he will be king of the pirates. Loki interested by the word king. Loki states that this is Elbaf, a kingdom who once lived for warfare. He believes he is a sun god and he will bring about the end of the world. That's the end of the chapter. We get to see Elbaf in all its glory.
There's something going on with this sun god lore in Elbaf. That doesn't add up.
It does add up, but we'll get into the top of the show.
Okay.
Alright. But Eric, Elbaf. We get to see this double page spread.
Big tree, Christian.
Eric, absolutely colossal sword. It makes no sense.
All the Zoro fans immediately.
Makes no sense how big the sword is.
Right.
No one could build this in the One Piece verse. The immense scale of the weapons, of the castles, of the sword, it's insane. Alright?
Right.
Of course, we rely on Cole to do the calculations and how big this weapon is. It's gonna be like 10 times the size of Zunisha. It is a colossal weapon.
Right.
Right? So the giant tree also it should be out of the atmosphere if we're going by logic, but Oda, we'll see what he does.
Right.
Eric, we'll get to a talk of the show about Loki, but what do you think about this chapter?
We're getting into Elbaf, Christian. We see the Loki man. We're getting hyped. Now we're taking a 2-week break for the live action, Christian.
Eric, not to play Elbaf, because Elbaf is locked in.
Well, I'm sure he'll think about it on his plane ride.
Okay, sure, whatever. But Elbaf locked in.
Right.
Alright, but for the live, at least it's not a month. I'll say that. 2 weeks.
Well, he doesn't have to do as much work.
Eric, 2 weeks. He's gonna go. Eric, he'll go. Why do you still have this Kobe plot in this fucking show? If I have to come down here to South Africa again, tell you to take it out, there's not gonna be a season 3.
Watch the producers still push the romance
between who? Luffy and
Nami and shit. Because they tried to do it the first time. It's like, absolutely not.
What is like? If you goddamn moron.
That interview's so funny. He's like, we had to spend 3 years convincing Oda we needed this Kobe B plot. And he finally relented. And it's the worst part.
And it's shit.
Right.
So, Oda, go down there.
Now, Boise coming at me for ZKL, Christian.
Yeah.
I was memeing. I didn't know my boys have so much power. Now,
you got screenshotted.
The Zoro fans pretend it's all a meme. Ha, funny.
It's not.
It's real.
I've already seen TikToks. And the angle they're going with, Eric, is ridiculous. Have you seen the angle?
Is it Fenrir and...
Yes, and the wolf.
Right.
And the wolf Zoro killed in his chapter 2.
Chapter 2, the wolf.
The wolf from... Helmappo's pet dog, wolf.
We'll get into the... Loki's girlfriend stuff in the top of the show, Christian.
Yeah.
Great chapter, Christian. Elbaf revealed, Loki revealed, Luffy face to face with potentially the villain. Now, who will free this man?
We're going to talk with the show.
Okay.
Because I got many thoughts about Loki. I've compiled a timeline, and we'll get into it. But Eric, I'm going to give this chapter a solid 8 out of 10. We're hyping it up. We're feeling good. Characters getting introduced, a little bit of outside world. A little bit of bounty. Mm-hmm. Where is that Straw Hat bounty?
Hopefully the next chapter.
Please react to the bounty of Luffy.
Now,
I want that insane bounty.
I said, watch Hydruden be 50 times stronger for no reason.
Eric, I've seen the stats. I guess we'll get, because I talk about Hydruden and talk about the show. We'll get to Hydruden and talk about the show.
That's got 700 likes on it.
Because I think it's got a lot to do with the plot, Hydruden versus Loki, that kind of shit.
Right.
But we'll get into it, Eric. Let's go into it.
Shanks.
Shanks.
How strong is Shanks?
Every week, come to you with this question of how strong is Shanks. And every week we answer, Shanks is the strongest, Shanks is okay. But, there are still people out there. Who think Kaido's the strongest, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
The man still is MIA, no one knows where he is. Some might say he's ducking the smoke.
What smoke would that be?
Luffy.
Right.
Kinesis. The Nika. There are people out there that think sweatiest man on the planet, Sakazuki, the desk man himself.
The desk merchant, Christian.
Desk merchant. There are people out there who think Blackbeard is the strongest. The man missing his third devil fruit.
That he'll never get.
They'll never get. Eric, there are people out there saying I'm the strongest. The man on the floor sweating about the Gorosei. People still think that Aibu zapped Saturn from across the world. They still don't understand how to read that panel.
Right.
And of course, Eric, the worst of them all. The man who got memed in the fan letter. People think Mihawk's the strongest. But they're wrong, they're incorrect, Eric. Because Shanks is the strongest, Shanks is the God King. And everyone can bring 100% factual information to the table. Shanks is so strong that he was the one to first defeat Loki, who rampaged 6 years ago and gained Emperor status. Shanks is the strongest, Shanks is the God King. Moving on, talk about the show. Loki speculation, Eric.
Who's got notes?
I've compiled the timeline of Loki, of what we know, and what hints we have. The timeline, Eric. Timeline. Either Lola went to Albath or Loki came to Whole Cake Island.
Right.
6 years ago. At least 6 years ago. It's more likely that Loki went to Whole Cake Island on his own little side quest because I doubt Big Mom would be allowed in Albath.
Maybe there was some kind of invitation with Herald, some kind of formal letter, who knows?
But Eric, it seems like Loki and Lola had a genuine connection, and, well, at least Loki fell in love with Lola on his own will. So it wasn't an arranged marriage on Loki's...
Right, and Herald will tell Big Mom to fuck off.
Yeah. They agreed to the wedding, Eric. It was all gonna happen. So, Loki had a lot of sway in Albath before this event.
Right.
Before he killed his father. So it was all gonna happen, the Big Mom shit, the wedding was gonna happen, it was all gonna be great.
Do we know... Yeah, we do have the list here. Alright.
Loki gets rejected by Lola. Lola first arrives on Thriller Bark 5 years ago. And therefore, this event had to happen at least 5 years ago, maybe 6. So that's why I've got it there.
Right.
Alright. Loki killed his father at least 2 years ago, because they say a few years. Few literally means 2. So we'll say it happened at least 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And obtained a legendary devil fruit. Alright. Loki is captured and chained up to a tree at that moment. Hydruden goes to Dressrosa to get the Marimara no Mi to contest Loki. Alright. He wants this devil fruit to defeat Loki in single combat to become king of the giants. Hydruden then, after the events of Dressrosa, joins the Grand Fleet. Sometime after Wano, somehow Loki freed himself, or got help, from his chains, and then the finest warriors of Albath had to capture him. And now Luffy's in front of him. That is a timeline.
Right.
Alright. So what are your thoughts of this timeline so far?
Do we get a Lola flashback
100%.
of these events?
100%.
Big Mom has to be in this arc.
Did Loki go crazy and bad when he got rejected, Eric?
Got
Did
that
he go sicko? Did he go sicko
full
mode?
incel mode on the first rejection?
Did he go sicko mode after the rejection?
It's possible.
Alright. That's why he's a sicko now. Alright?
Right.
It's possible. He's a man with a broken heart, Eric. Now he only seeks the world's destruction.
For
'Cause
Lola,
he-
of all people, but sure.
Eric, he was a respected man
Right.
in Elbaf. He had political sway. He had enough sway for them to make an alliance with Big Mom. So he was respected before this event. So it's not like he's always been some sort of outcast.
Right.
And like that's why he hates the world. So he's a man with a broken heart on a quest for destruction. Alright? So personality, let's talk about the personality. Loki seems to want to go back to the old days of war. The old days of the giant terrorizing the seas, Eric. The old Viking days of conquest and war. He believes in the sun god prophecy and he thinks he is him. He wants to bring about the destruction of the world. I'm thinking he means the dawn. And that to him is what the dawn is. The destruction of the world, the burning of the world, and it rising from the ashes.
Okay.
Loki lore. Now let's go into the Loki lore from Norse mythology. Loki, obviously a god, a mysterious individual, shapeshift, whatever, alright? Loki is responsible for the death of one of Odin's sons. And this is why he's a villain. Now Odin changed that to the death of the king himself.
Yep.
He is captured and tortured for his crimes. Loki frees himself from his chains and allies with the enemies of the gods. The Jordan.
Right.
He goes to war with the gods during Ragnarok.
AKA the giants in
Yeah.
Norse mythology.
No, a different type of giant. There's many giants.
Right.
But a sect of giants, Eric. After Ragnarok, it is believed that the new Earth rises from the ocean and is repopulated by humans and new gods. So this is why I'm connecting Loki and his dream of of being the sun god with Ragnarok, because it is a direct connection to the new Earth rising out of the ocean, which was probably what's going to happen at the end of One Piece,
Right.
aka the dawn of the world.
So is Loki a villain, Christian?
Is Loki a villain? Well, he wants destruction. He wants to bring about the dawn in his own way.
Right.
Now, will Abath officially be the start of the Great War?
Maybe. Probably.
Is the freeing of Loki the catalyst for all that war?
Do you think he has white hair? That's why he thinks he's a sun god?
No. But it could be possible he has white hair.
Because I still can't get over the fact that the giants know the sun god's supposed to be pure white and look like that.
Yeah, but they all hate him, Eric. They say he's cursed. He's a shame of Albath
Right.
for what he's done. Even if he,
So what?
they don't believe it. They don't believe he's a sun god.
But Loki believes himself to be the sun god.
Yeah. What do you think this legendary devil fruit is, Eric? People have theories. People think Fenrir, the legendary wolf devil fruit.
If you know,
Eric, I've heard people say it's hell flames.
no,
Okay. Eric says no.
if he is Fenrir, then we have to involve Shanks, obviously,
Okay.
in this plot line, because Shanks is literally a tier-like figure.
Cool.
So that's one thing. I don't mind another Zoan. We've done a lot of Zoans.
Yeah. Is it a Logia? Because Hydruda did foreshadow this. Have you seen a giant with a Logia? What would it be though?
If Hydruda is trying to get the Mirror, you'd assume it's some kind of ice power.
Ice power or fire? Because it's Ragnarok related. Because he wants to bring it back.
I don't know. Loki in North mythology has ice powers as well, ice magic.
Okay. All right.
So there's a possible that, and he could also shapeshift into any animal. So there might be a shapeshift devil fruit. Does the king of Albath always have to have this devil fruit to be king?
It seems like it was in some sort of treasure room because he killed his father and stole the legendary devil fruit passed down.
Right.
generations. Maybe they'll keep this devil fruit in case of a catastrophic event. You know, kind of like a failsafe. Or the fruit's too powerful to consume. Eric, let me ask you directly: is this another god fruit?
Well, like the earth god.
Is this the forest god or the earth god?
Well, if it's the forest god, he'd call himself the forest god, not the sun god. It's kind of stupid.
But Eric, the sun god is what brings about the dawn.
I'm aware, but like if
He wants to bring about the dawn.
If there are other gods, including the water and earth and such, then there'd be law for that as well.
Do you think he is a fire-based devil fruit?
Well, he's literally
For the sun imagery?
I'm gonna go with ice.
Ice. How does that relate to the sun god?
Because he's pure white. He uses ice-like powers. He's in ice right now. He's covered in ice.
Okay. Is it a mythical?
Those has to be sea stone chains if he's got.
Yeah.
You know, Logia.
Also, his eyes are gouged out, or he has glowing eyes.
I think he's got glowing eyes because you can the shading implies he's got glowing eyes. It could be a mythical zone related to some kind of different power as well. I don't know.
People are saying it's one of the mythical animals of Norse mythology, either Fenrir or the snake or what's it called?
Fenrir would be a cool
Nidhogg or something.
Fenrir would be a cool hybrid, but like Fenrir's just a magic dog.
Well, there are the two dogs that chase the sun and the moon, which could be a very cool devil fruit. Hence the sun god imagery.
Right.
It could be the wolf that chases the sun.
I can see that, but yeah, like Oda would have. Carter's got a bag with that dragon fruit.
Yeah, you have to have the bag.
So
and the devil fruit.
We need X Factor. I don't want to fight as a wolf zone.
No. I mean, Carter's X Factor was the scales.
Right.
The toughness. So, what are your predictions for Loki? Villain, hero, ally, kid? Is Kid getting involved in this plot? Metal chains, Eric. Is Kid gonna free Loki?
And the Zoroverse Kid, Christian.
Zoroverse Kid. And then he goes extreme dev with Kid.
Right.
Zoro fans will know not. If the Zoro fans won't know what to do if he goes extreme dev with Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But yeah.
I don't, he's freed, we fight him. Does he come back with an army? Does he come back with Big Mom to take out Albath? These are all questions, right? Because let's say Luffy frees him next week. What does he do?
I think he wants to fight Luffy because he mentioned he wants to be a king.
Right, but the arc has to happen, right?
Yeah.
So like, what are the plot threads going on? Like,
I think Luffy gets bamboozled and convinced to let him go.
mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you want to be Pirate King? You have to defeat me to be Pirate King. Like, are you know,
right.
some shit like that. Because Luffy is very interested in this man. He doesn't know, he can't really read this man, Eric. He's like, who's that? What's that? I don't really understand what's going on over there. Let me go suss this man out.
Aura.
Yeah. So, Loki, we know, is a mischievous individual. So, maybe Luffy can't sense
He's got that Mingo mouth going on, Christian. He's obviously mysterious, obviously mischievous.
Yeah. So, Loki is going to be a top 10... I'm going to say, yeah, I agree. Top 10 character.
Does Big Mom get involved in this arc?
Yes. There's too many connections.
Right. It's funny how a design shifts everyone's perspective immediately.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh, who's the villain? What the fuck are we doing?
Who gives a fuck about Loki?
Right. Now Loki's a hype man. Oh, we're all interested in Loki.
Now the whole plots are surrounded by Loki.
Right. Which is, it implies, it kind of suggests it is. Yeah, well, Loki has to be freed, and then Luffy has to help.
Yeah.
Although the Giants did capture him once, so I don't know why it's harder this time.
Maybe there's crazy.
Does he have sympathizers?
Maybe he's got a crew, Eric.
You know,
He had a bit of a crew when he was hanging out with Lola. You can see some giants around him.
is fucking
Who let him free the first time?
is Road a sympathizer, and he cosplays as his favorite guy?
Maybe
sun
it's
god.
possible. So who let him free the first time? We're gonna find that out.
Probably Road or some bullshit.
It's not fucking Road. All right.
It might be.
Give me a relevant character.
I don't know who the Giants are. I don't know maybe Hydruna was pissed off. He wanted to fight his brother.
Let's challenge him.
Yeah,
Challenges
and
him. He
lost.
loses, and then he has to go down.
He loses in one hit. He loses to a punch to the jaw.
Derek, do you want to talk about Hydruden?
The man
Will he become?
He's a
will
key
he
player in
become?
the arc.
Will he become the official new king of Albath? And
Obviously,
then
yes.
Luffy gets the Giants.
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind.
So, Hydruden's getting massive buffs, so we all know that.
Stupid buffs. Man's
He's got
got
stupid
haki,
buffs.
observation haki, conqueror's haki.
Derek,
He's
everyone,
Christian,
people are
he's been trading for 2
Macvice.
months. He's been trading for 2 months. All right.
Let's talk about Macvice.
Right.
Right. He basically punched the Eiffel Tower. That's how heavy Macvice was.
Mm.
Basically, the weight of the Eiffel Tower. He punches, coming at him, Eric. A meteor speed. So you got to put a force multiplier on that.
His body shatters. People forget.
Body
that part.
shatters,
Right.
like Zoro,
Right.
against the ocean sovereignty.
Mm-hmm.
Shattered Zoro. Alright. He punches the Eiffel Tower into the sky while it's coming at him. So that's a strength feat. Alright? But
Isn't he the size of the Eiffel Tower?
Who? Hydruden?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Is that impressive then?
But it's weight.
How
It's
much does Hydruden
Eiffel-
weigh?
Eric, he doesn't weigh as much as the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is full steel. Alright? So he punches...
What is it?
equivalent
200,000
weight.
tons.
Yeah, 20,000 tons.
20,000 tons.
Weigh the Eiffel Tower.
Hydruden's
Effectively.
gonna weigh a few thousand tons.
Sure. But it's impressive to punch the Eiffel Tower into the sky, alright?
Okay.
So it's a great power feat, strength feat.
Hydruden, you just could have dodged, but
You really gotta increase that observation or that defense, alright? You really gotta do it. Maybe he did go get a devil fruit off screen. He went and got a devil fruit. It's possible that time one.
And defense.
If he gets a defensive D fruit, we give him a pass, alright? Because now he's got the defense to compete. Alright? Maybe he did go and find
Maybe
a
he
devil.
got the diamond fruit, Christian. Of Jozo.
He went and stole Diamond
That would increase.
Jozu's
That would
fruit.
increase
The hype level.
his defensive capability.
Quite a lot.
Right.
Alright? But there you go.
Anything else in this situation?
Yeah.
Again, who's the crew? Is it the Big Mom pirates? Is it Kid? I don't. What the
Is the Holy Knight trying to sow chaos in Albath?
Right. Is it fucking? Again, we don't want all the Straw Hats fighting giants. That would be lame.
Eric, I don't think I could see this arc ending with we're dealing with Big Mom and Loki escapes and starts the war. Does some crazy shit and starts the war.
Okay. We'll see.
I could see Loki escaping in the chaos and he goes and does some crazy shit. Maybe he cuts down the tree. Who
Big
knows?
Mom's in the arc.
Yeah,
ZKL is back on.
of course. Because then the number 2.
Right.
All right. Also,
When
Usopp.
Katakuri gets passed down to Sanji, Christian, maybe.
Okay, let's not forget about the Usopp theories.
Right.
Usopp said he will command 5,000 giants. Where does he become the king of Albath?
No.
By defeating Loki.
Hydruden will be king of Albath.
Therefore, because
He's the prince.
Hydruden is Usopp is a god in Hydruden's eyes, therefore he commands Hydruden, therefore he commands the giants.
Sure.
Something like that. All right. Move on to questions. Questions from the people.
Now, Breezy brings up that Loki is a contender for the One Piece. Does Loki even know what the One Piece is?
I don't know. I don't think he cares about the One Piece at all.
Right.
I think he wants to just destroy the world and bring about the dawn.
Questions from the people.
First question comes in from J-Rock. Hey guys, what devil fruit power do you think Loki has? We kind of talked about it. It's either a mythical North creature. I like the wolf that chases the sun for sun god
Maybe
shit.
we have to look into Herald and what his deal is. Maybe that plays
Eric,
a
he's
part.
the king. He's not from mythology. He's the king of.
Yeah, I know, but like, does he have a thing that he does? Is he?
He's a guy.
Is he famous for? Is he famous for something? Does he have?
Yeah.
Does he have? Because I'm sure there's mythology about him as well. In
Legends
some way.
and shit.
Legends, yeah.
From Myanmar. Eric, do you have a big smile on your face about inflation being a thing in One Piece world of the economics? Also, nice story economy with Hydrun and Dressrosa leading to the Albaf storyline. It is true. We did get a nice little link from Hydrun and Albaf and Dressrosa.
Now, as we brought up, Christian, the inflation being a thing brings up many
Issues
about what's going on.
Also, Eric, I forgot to mention this, but did you hear the news that Araki is writing a new book?
A third book, Christian.
A new book, Eric. How to Craft Villains. Thoughts?
He's got one good one.
You got two good ones. Three good ones. According to...
Who are the three?
You got Dio, you got Kira, and you got Mr. Funny Valentine. Right?
3 out of 9?
We haven't seen it. Hale is cool.
Okay.
We're not gonna put judgment on Hale yet.
Also, Dio's 3 of them.
That's all. So yeah, it's all out of 9.
So yeah, I guess. But
Yeah.
hey, Dio's iconic. So maybe he just had a memes, but
No.
shout out Dio.
Eric, apparently, are you ever going to fix the missing audio on the chapter transition screen? Thoughts about this? Have you heard this?
Chapter transition screen. Perhaps the media audio is off on this specific thing, Christian. I'll look into it.
He wants it fixed. Michael J wants it fixed.
Okay.
From Ambiza, do you think Law and Garp's situation will continue to develop without Straw Hat's involvement, or do you think they getting into it? Law's situation is up in the air. Garp's situation, it'll deal with Blackbeard.
You'd think all that would be in the paper.
No.
But Luffy's gonna not be able to see the paper until Abba finishes. So
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Loki and Usopp form an unfortunate bromance that pit them against the Straw Hats? No. Usopp's not going against the Straw Hats again.
no.
He learned these lessons the first time. From Midnight Detective. Red Rock having an Albaf will probably bring in lots of third parties. Do I see third parties get involved in Albaf? Maybe Big Mom, but that's it. I don't really see
It's
it
a
happening.
massive island as well. Like, we don't want to...
Trouble times, problem. It was in Wano, and it was only kind of
we
fucked
could
in
have
Wano.
rainbow teleportation bridges and shit.
That's true.
So, like, I don't know if that's a big issue. It's just like the scale's huge. Do we want a war? You know, questions.
Yeah. Midnight Detective. I'm guessing Loki's fruit will either be Jormungandr or Fenrir. Very true. The snake or the wolf. From Drew Flax. Just based on this chapter, where do you guys think Loki is in the power ratings? At least, I'm going to say top 15 to be conservative, but I'm thinking top 10.
Yeah.
He's got the sword, he's got the hype. The hype in him, Eric. Quote unquote legendary devil fruit.
Right.
Alright. Do you think Loki's plans to end the that's known for war. It's kind of strange if you ask me. They equivalently destroy themselves. It's Ragnarok. He's trying to bring about the dawn, Eric.
Right.
He thinks he's the sun god. For Maple Ruble. By the end of the arc, do you think Loki will be an ally of the Straw Hats? Also, when I saw Luffy sense him, it reminded me of the crew sensing the girl say, so do you think Loki will be on or above the level do you think Luffy is sensing his haki? He's definitely sensing his haki. I don't think Loki being an ally, maybe a chaotic third party. I don't know about ally.
It's kind of hard to I'm still not sold either way on if he's a villain or not.
Now he has a devil fruit, so it's gonna be hard for him to escape Albath
Right.
without a ship or crew.
Unless can fly. We said devil fruit.
Sure. For Pirate Kings is. Do you think when Loki sees Gear 5, he'll bend the knee or he'll change? He'll challenge for dominance.
Right.
No doubt. Third, Kaido had no idea he was getting stronger, only to use as an obstacle meant to ensure this man who created the greatest war the world has ever known. So the people that maybe Kaido's dream and Loki's dream being the same. You know, Kaido's endless war, world of violence. Again, that might have to do with the Sun God prophecy and the Dawn, the Ragnarok event.
Right.
The inevitable war that will consume the world.
And, Kaido was trying to be Joy Boy for a long time.
Yeah, Kaido did want it. Kaido did want that to create the world, the endless war. And, like, at the end of it, he said Big Mom and him will fight for the One Piece. So he basically wanted to reset the chessboard.
Right.
He's like, I want to destroy the world and reset it all. Why does Brago not want fights in Albath? Time and, I guess, scale? I don't know.
It's probably, he probably wants fights. He's probably maybe...
Probably just wants lore.
Yeah, he said he's more interested in lore than fights, which is fair enough.
Grimdavium. If there are bad actors in Albath, why didn't Shanks crush them? They're supposed to be his territory. It's not officially his territory, and the place is fucking massive. Alright? He seems like he hangs around in the wall.
Well, Loki's chained up, so...
Yeah. He seems like he's just hanging around the Warlands, though. He's just, like, chilling.
Right.
I don't know if he has to do with the royalty at all. You know? And the last question, Eric. Thoughts of ZKL? Hype Train and the new Zoro fans lost their mind. Apparently it's a psyop, Eric. ZKL is apparently...
When will it end?
A Zoro psyop. It's never good. It's never serious.
Of course, the famous, now infamous tweet. That screenshot is me saying, "Thank God." Loki's got an axe.
It's a hammer. It's not an axe. It's a hammer. But
so I don't have to hear about ZKL, and then literally 2 hours before that, someone said ZKL.
You can't win, Eric. You can't win.
It's gonna be the meme for the entirety of Elbath. And don't let them gaslight you into thinking they're memeing.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, no.
They want it.
Sure.
They need it.
Alright. And that's the episode.
Zoro's display in Elbath, no good.
Egghead,
no good.
They want redemption from the Lucci genocide, Eric.
Okay.
Alright. They destroyed all of Zoro's agendas. They extreme death with Lucci.
Crazy.
They will never recover.
Never.
Right.
Anyway. There's no JoJo, there's no One Piece. It's a problem.
We'll figure out something. Is it time to bring out the top 30 or we're going to wait till Loki does something?
Is it time to bring out the power scale? Because we have a lot of people we haven't done.
It might be time for a power scale revision. The Gorosei is going to be an annoying topic. Eric's going to get mad. But it has to be done. Dory Broggy, Eric.
Right.
We're going to have to do it. Alright? Heaps of new characters. Vice Admirals. Do we even bother? Who knows?
Shadak Grimace, Red King.
There you go. Shanks is stronger, Shanks to go king.
Good night.